indeed. He's going to want to be. Unknown opponent in Janicic. Always the way with a late replacement. You don't know where the strengths are. You can't really train for it.
With MMA gloves, takes place in the -77 kilogram welterweight division. This bout will be contested over three-minute rounds. Your referee in charge when the action gets underway, Mr. Nenad Šantić. Introducing to you, firstly, fighting out of the blue corner, he's aged 27 and standing at 180 centimeters tall. Today making his pro debut under these ultimate kickboxing rules. He's representing Phuket Fight Club from Montenegro. Please welcome Milos Janicic. And opposing him, fighting out of the red corner on the other side of the cage. He's 19 years old and stands at 183 centimeters tall, also making his professional ultimate kickboxing debut. He's representing Ares Gym from Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's Stefan Dobrijevic. Both fighters to the center, please, for your final instructions.
Fighters, you know the rules. Listen to my comments all the time. When I say stop, stop. Clean fight. Touch the gloves. Go to your corners.
So those are the numbers, and the obvious one, 19 years of age. But he is a prospect. Apart from that, anything else that we've missed here, Chris?
Yeah, for sure. The numbers you're not seeing of Milos Janicic's experience in BKB and MMA.
So, ultimate kickboxing. Those 4-ounce gloves have got to hurt. And I think that in terms of the K1 rule system, this is probably the nearest you'll get to Muay Thai because of the light gloves, the ability to be able to hurt so much with the hands. And you can see straight away, it's the hands that are weapons here. We're not seeing the low kicks being employed. Let's see how this plays out. But they're both heavy-hitting kids, and they've both got the skill sets. So let's just see how this plays. Dobrijevic, switch hitting. They're both comfortable in orthodox and landing shots. Janicic and that experience. And you can see, definitely an MT stylist, able to throw curves by lifting up the legs. Great hold and then throw from Dobrijevic.
It's very intriguing as well because Janicic isn't going to be uncomfortable throwing in 4-ounce gloves, whereas Dobrijevic, coming from a more traditional kickboxing background, is coming down in size with the gloves, right? And there was talk of looking at MMA, so it's nice to see this as maybe a whistle-stop tour towards that.
So they're approaching this like an MT bout. More continuous work now from Janicic, more K1, but he's definitely an MT stylist coming out of that training in Phuket. And again, you know, I do reference the heat in this arena. This is what's making the movements very stilted. No one's committing, no one's throwing a lot of energy, because once it's gone, it's gone. These boys are hitting hard. Last minute of this round, we've seen good solid contact, and Janicic has that Muay Thai left jab where he steps out onto his left foot and then throws the left, throws the right from the hip again. And Dobrijevic has had to eat some shots here, there's no two ways about it. Making a proper nuisance of himself, Janicic, and looks very relaxed, drops his hands, but very quick on the uptake, throwing as he moves back as well, alternating, great boxing style. Switches and uses the other leg. Master of deception here and causing Dobrijevic a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's nice to see Dobrijevic rolling with the punches, but Janicic has been able to find his mark a couple of times already quite effectively, and they say no risk, no reward in prize fighting, but there were some pundits who thought, you know what, Dobrijevic, you better wish what you're going to get, because ultimately it might be a little bit too much to bite off.
So at the end of the first. So many replacements for Dobrijevic, and in steps Janicic, and you can see Janicic able to hit whilst going back, and I always admire that in a fighter, because that's where the damage is caused. The exit strategy, but he positions himself well. Good shapes, good angles, and that Thai style where you don't quite know whether the kick's coming or the fist is coming, able to offset his opponent. Doing a good job, Janicic. A real proper nuisance of himself in there so far as Dobrijevic is concerned. So it's got to get down and dirty now in the second. They've got to go to work. And, back to the job in hand they both go. Good defence from Dobrijevic. He covers up well, drops the head down. Needs to be very careful. Any perfunctory and sloppy kicks will be advantaged by Janicic. Janicic using the cage extremely well, making himself a difficult target for Dobrijevic. Dobrijevic trying to close that ring down, trying to get him in one spot so he can offload, and that's not easy.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating to move into a cage as well for this. A lot of new dimensions for Dobrijevic, and Janicic just seems very quick off the draw. And again, in shape, right? We didn't really know, was he going to be able to go out there and execute? But the answer is yes. He was in camp. It's obviously very comfortable training in hot environments, which again, he's found himself here tonight in competition coming from Thailand to this.
Dobrijevic starting to show a bit of wear and tear on both eyes, bit of swelling there. He's taken the shots, but look at the confidence of Janicic. Very relaxed style. You know, wicked Muay Thai stylist. Able to move. In fact, he moves so incredibly like a Thai fighter. Not just a Muay Thai stylist, but like a Thai fighter. And then reminds me of a couple of fighters that were in K1. So, very relaxed with the hands and starting to pick off Dobrijevic now. That right eye starting to swell and close down. Throwing it all in. So far for me it's been Janicic all the way. He really has dominated this. Dobrijevic has had his moments. But good style, Janicic, for this. Reminds me of Bukau. Left-right combination there. And anyone remember an old fighter called Kayanor Singh from K1 who beat Mighty Mo? That was incredible. The height, the weight. Kayanor Singh jumped up, dropped a kick on. Yeah, this is good work from Dobrijevic, but it's not enough. He needs to up the ante now and go to work. And it's the repeated attrition from Janicic that's making inroads here. It's the constant striking, the constant kicking, that workload from Janicic, which is scoring. And yeah, Dobrijevic has his moments, but you know, it's like sticking your head through the door and saying I'm here and then closing the door and going out again, because you're not really there, are you?
Yeah, it's his timing, it's his rhythm, it's knowing when to play defense and be patient, when to lead, when to follow. And yeah, Janicic is just showing, I think, the seasoning difference, if you will, between both fighters. And again, you know, they kind of met on common ground here, coming from MMA, staying in 4-ounce gloves in the cage for Janicic, and of course for kickboxing, going into some new dimensions with that sport for Dobrijevic. But yeah, you could hear the big pop from the crowd, and I feel like Dobrijevic was really feeding on that and fighting on instinct, but he was just eating quite a few punches, as you can see. Walking forward, trying to fight straight punches with looping punches, which just isn't quite the recipe he needs. And Janicic is just so comfortable in the pocket, leaning out, coming in, firing off combinations, not without return fire.
Yeah, certainly he's had his moments, Dobrijevic, but it's the consistency of Janicic. And as I say, I've likened Janicic's style to Bukau por Pramuk. Bukau fought in that relaxed way, but he hurt you, and he hurt you going back, when you thought you had the ascendancy by throwing in shots and coming in forward, knowing that the second or third one would land, Popramuk Waka would move out and then hurt you on the way. Third and final round here. This ultimate debut, as it were, of ultimate kickboxing. And that's kickboxing with MMA gloves. First time for FNC, as indeed the bare knuckle boxing was last time out for FNC. So, some spice being added to all the bouts here. But this is the third round in this, and it's pitched a very, very young, talented fighter who's had to accept 3 opponents after all kinds of withdrawals, pullouts, injuries, and that's Stefan Dobrijevic of Montenegro, of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Milos Janicic of Montenegro. So both neighbouring countries, but what a difference in styles, what a difference in outcomes, as Janicic, for me, has probably taken every round, but he was hurt there. And this is where it counts. It only takes one. No count, but that was a knockdown.
It looked to me like the referee was taking a very careful look at how Janicic got back up to make the assessment. Do I give him the count or not? It was enough to step in and say, look, I want a clean reset here.
And they've got that, and this is Dobrijevic's opportunity. Lovely uppercut on the inside in the pocket there. Waited till Janicic came in, but he hurt Oh, goodness me. Janicic really having to summon up some recovery power here. And Dobrijevic may have redeemed himself. Not enough, I don't think. Needs to finish this, and we need a rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah, he needs a 10-8, he needs a 10-7, he needs a stoppage. It's not going to be enough to win this one 10-9 in my view.
Oh, good work. Look at the head. Slips the punches, throws them in right from inside the pocket, and all that showboating's not going to add to anything, and rightly the referee steps in. And that's a waste of time that you don't have in the third and final round. And Dobrijevic really at 19 needs to grow up here, and maybe Janicic is the one to teach him that lesson. So they're trading, they're slugging. It was great work for Dobrijevic, but he's lost the impetus now, and yeah, as I say, that kind of behaviour, not in the octagon. We don't want to see that. And Janicic lands the shots, the knee strikes. Dobrijevic falls foul, runs out of ideas, chases Janicic around the ring, spinning back fist, and well, Janicic could be the one to school him here. Dobrijevic run out of ideas, run out of gas, and yeah, I've got a mixed view about that kind of behaviour in the cage, Chris.
I agree, but I've got a definitive view about the outcome of this fight, and although the crowd loves it, that was undoubtedly a great comeback from Dobrijevic. I still think it was 2018 going into that third round for Janicic.
Yeah, it was great work from Dobrijevic. Really threw some curves, came in low, through the uppercut, then tried to bring the heat with the flying knee. Just couldn't make it work, but he evaded some good, skillful throws there from Janicic. He managed to remain inside so he could hurt his opponent. Just, for me, spoiled it with that juvenile behaviour, but had great work to offer. I don't think he's done it.
I don't think he's done it either. I believe it's 29-28 here. Nobody got a 10-8 round, so it's all 10-9, 10-9, 10-9.
So, we'll wait for the judge's decision here. And, yeah, if I'm scathing about the
well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of those three action-packed rounds, we go to
he
the
deserves better of
scorecard,
himself, Dobrijevic, but let's see how he's done.
A split decision in favour of your winner. From Bosnia and Herzegovina, Stefan Dobrijevic!